As a business owner, you know how essential clear, actionable insights are for improving customer-facing operations. And yet, feedback is often too broad, shallow, or incomplete. With our AI-powered mystery shopping, transform your audit process from reactive to proactive with real-time, in-depth data that goes beyond surface feedback. Our tailored system identifies your customer experience trends, which resolves issues before they impact business and refines customer engagement strategies, all within just minutes. Simply set your key performance indicators, then let our AI do the rest. Whether you're looking at improving your customer service, sales, or employee performance, you'll get feedback that is not only thorough, but personalized to each of your customers' experiences. Our buildable and customizable packages provide evaluations from foundational to growth-focused insights as your needs grow. Here's how it works. We'll use the high-quality video and audio captured during mystery shops we complete, like this one.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. Coming to take a peek at the models?
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking to buy a house, build a house, whatever.
Excellent.
I want a house.
You want a house? We build them, so you're in the right place.
Okay. What you got, right? Les.
Steve. Nice to meet you.
Steve.
Les. So, first on the model I take it, Les.
Yeah, right.
How'd you learn about us?
Saw the signs, one of many here.
Sure, yeah.
Our detail-focused AI will analyze the recording, combing through the interactions for markers based on your specified standards.
You started with a friendly greeting. That's a good start. To enhance this, try weaving in more personal engagement. For example, when the customer mentioned seeing signs and passing through, you could have shared a light, related anecdote or inquired about their experience with other builders, deepening your connection.
Along with the AI-generated video, anyone who needs it will receive a tailored written summary, a score sheet, and an action plan, breaking down the entire interaction to help drive improvement, understanding, and consistency. Elevate your business insights with SBOA's AI-powered mystery shopping. Schedule a demo today and go from in the dark to in the know.
Good morning, everyone in self-storage land, and welcome to today's Self-Storage Unlocked webinar. We are very excited to have you here today. We're going to dive into a transformative power of AI just-in-time training. And this session, we're going to explore how AI can deliver personalized, on-demand learning experiences that are going to seamlessly integrate into daily workflows, revolutionizing the way your business approaches deal with your employee development, but also how you enhance your customer experience. Throughout the session today, before I introduce everyone, I just want to give you some housekeeping rules. Do feel free to drop your questions in the chat. You'll want to go right into the comments. You can start by letting us know who you are, where you're from. I see Roberta has been in there. Let us know. We want to know who we're talking to. We want to know more about our audience. We're also going to run some polls during the session today to gather your feedback. Let us know how to improve our webinars. That's why we have the polls. You'll see them in your registration. You'll see them throughout the day. And again, your participation is valuable. So we have started offering a $20 gift card to Starbucks every webinar for the people who are the most active throughout. So Aaliyah will come on the end. She'll let you know who won, and Mari will send you that gift card. And without further ado, I want to bring up our panel today, starting with Dan Cosgrove. Hey, Dan, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Tell everybody a little bit about you and what you're going to talk about today.
Okay, I'm Dan Cosgrove, CEO of Mercantile Systems. We do mystery shopping, and we're going big into AI, as you're going to see. We're going to talk today about how AI is working, what clients are using it for, how it's working. We're also going to talk and show a little bit about what's called role practice, which wasn't in that video. Super cool, super dynamic, and here to answer questions because everyone knows AI, but I don't know that everybody knows how it really works and how it can really benefit.
Yeah, great. And that video is just a sneak peek of all the things that you are developing with Nikita, who we're going to meet in a minute. And we're really excited to have you here. We'll bring you back up in a minute. Next up, I don't know if he needs an introduction. We have RK. How are you today, RK?
It's the best day of my life. Thank you for asking, Iris. So I'm RK, and I like walks on the beach and soft music. Oh, wait, the wrong platform. I'm sorry. Just kidding, Iris. How is everybody today?
It's great. It's a great day. We're excited to be having this topic. I'm really happy to see you back on Self-Storage Unlocked, and you look fantastic. If
My
you
pleasure.
were here, you'd be 7'3". I think you told me that earlier. So tell everybody a little bit about why you're here discussing AI.
So I've been in the self-storage business 40 years, and I've seen so much transition in this business from the days when we were in the back of industrial parks on, chain link fences and railroad tracks. It was terrible business back then. And we just didn't know much about self-storage, and technology has brought us so far. And AI is really, really the definition of transformative. It has so much potential in our business. And this whole idea of just-in-time training, it's incredible what it can do for us to be so much better professionals in the business, to help our customers to become much better informed about what how they use self-storage, and how we can be better at providing them exactly what we need. So I'm really excited about what the SBOA is doing, and how Dan is leading that charge with the just-in-time training. It's really cool stuff. Happy to be a part of it.
Well, thank you for being here. We'll see you back up in just a minute. And next up, I have Les Lent. How are you today, Les? I'm going to unmute you. There we go.
Good morning. I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking, Ira. My name's Les Lent. I'm a corporate sales trainer, so I specialize in B2B and B2C sales training, coaching, consulting, helping companies define their sales process. And probably the most impactful thing that I do for clients, and that has the application through AI that we'll talk about later on today, is really making sure that the sales leadership team, whoever's tasked with leading the team of inside salespeople, outside salespeople, basically the team of people that brings in all the money, the goal is, how do we make those people as productive and effective as possible? And AI is filling a lot of those gaps and helping companies scale quicker, helping onboard employees much faster, making them more productive in record time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're grateful to have you here today to talk about your expertise, and we'll be bringing you back up right after I introduce Nikita. There he is. How are you today, Nikita?
Hi, absolutely wonderful. It's a great day in the Bay, and we were blessed by amazing weather.
Don't you have amazing weather pretty much 99.9% of the time in the Bay Area?
On a good day.
Yeah, it's always a good day. Every time I've been there.
I'm a CTO for Evelyn. I've been doing this AI automation for about 3-4 years, practically since it became viable. And in my free time, I teach at the University of San Francisco. I have a book coming out on data analytics. And my goal here is to help you better understand how you can leverage all of this technology to improve your customer experience.
That's great. We're really happy to have you here to explain all of this techie stuff to the rest of us. I'm going to bring the rest of our guests back up, and we'll get into it. So we have everybody here. And Dan, I wanted to talk to you first about just explaining a little bit more about the core principles of just-in-time training. How does it differ from traditional training methods?
Yeah, I'll tell people, we're all used to LMSs, right? So you compare it to an LMS. I call an LMS one-dimensional. It feeds you a video, you answer questions. Feeds you a video, you answer questions. And obviously you can have all these videos on all types of different topics. When we start to talk about AI and just-in-time training, we have a dynamic, I'll call it three-dimensional, because it's going to take interaction. In this case, what we're using it here for, take an interaction, a real interaction between one of your salespeople and a customer or a mystery shopper, and it's going to analyze that. And we're not talking keywords or set of metrics and that kind of stuff anymore. That was yesterday, right? The AI and the learning and LLMs, which is large language models, are built to be able to understand that, but it's built with purpose and programming. We'll talk about that later. And it's going to take and dissect that conversation and then provide you feedback. It can understand nuances, meaning if I have a person that's very robotic, but yet hits all my points, that doesn't mean they're a bad salesperson. If I have somebody that's energetic and engaged, but hits all the areas. That also doesn't mean they're the greatest, but the AI is going to be able to understand the differences between the two, as opposed to it's only one way or the other. So it's really smart learning. Think of it as a brain that understands more and provides more of a three-dimensional view of what's going on. It truly is amazing, and you'll see.
Yeah, it really is amazing. I can't wait for you to show everybody. And how have you seen that making an impact in industries like self-storage? Like, are there specific areas where the approach has been especially beneficial?
Yeah, if I said one area right now, call centers are a no-brainer, right? Here's how the conversation goes when I talk to a call center or a storage operators with their own call centers. The question goes, what are you doing to measure employee performance at your call center? And they mostly all go, well, we have, Pete or Sharon, they listen to calls. And you're like, oh my God, we're toll taking here, right? We're taking money like from a toll taker, where that doesn't need to be anymore. So where it impacts there is, for example, one of our clients who had an employee trying to listen to one or two of all their 30 plus call center people's calls a month. We can take and download all those calls, sort them out, and listen to as many as we want. For that client, we listen to 10 calls per employee per month and aggregate all that data, apply a custom-made AI training video like the one you saw, and then a just-in-time role practice on top of that. So that's the biggest impact. Call centers right now are just dynamic for this whole process, but that also can go into any type of measurement, whether it be sales, frontline sales, telephone sales, individual at the property, or things like that. And I'll finish with this. This is how the other conversation goes. I'll share with them, here's the things we do. And I have an app that I show on my phone. It's pretty dynamic. In about 20, 30 seconds, they get it. And you see their eyes roll back in their head and you see them thinking, like, where can I apply this? And obviously we're going to be talking about customer experience today. But as we talk about AI, I'm telling you, it's permeating every bit of the business, from accounting to HR, obviously to training. It's going to have a piece in everything at some point. And you can see them thinking, I don't need it for here, but we could use it for here, here, and here right now. And so you see people thinking, like, where's the lowest hanging fruit that I can apply this tool to? And that's what gets them thinking.
Yeah, it's really, truly amazing. AI seems to be a game changer when it comes to just-in-time training. Can you talk to us a little more? We led into it earlier, but how can AI, such as machine learning and natural language processing, how is that transforming the JIT landscape?
Well, it really helps us that when we're working and interacting with a customer, when we're in that customer interface, and we're trying to understand how our sales presentation, A, can be better, and B, how we can better help our customer get to the end, which is getting the right size space for them at the right price and make the decision to store with us. All those things, we kind of have a framework for doing that. Some of you are required to follow scripts even. But what JIT does for us is it gives us those cues so we immediately get feedback on what we could be doing better. And if we forget something that we ought to be doing, for example, it may pick up a cue from a customer by their language tone. It may pick up a cue from them because they are hesitant, and we don't necessarily hear that cue. A lot of times we're so focused on delivering the message that we don't hear what the customer is actually saying. And when we don't hear what they're saying, we're more focused on what we want to say instead of what we need to hear. Well, all of that happens in the AI world. The AI world is processing all that information, and it can deliver to us cues that we need, and it listens for us and helps us to make sure that we don't forget some of those things. So that if there's something that we might pass over because we're thinking about what we're going to say, well, AI processes that for us, and it hears those cues, and it gives us and delivers us the information we need to be better at what we do. And I think that's really the big part of what all this does for us to help us be better at our jobs and to be more professional.
Oh, absolutely. And how do businesses adapt their current training programs to integrate AI-powered just-in-time training? What would be the first steps in incorporating a kind of technology?
Well, I think the big step is understanding how good we are and getting a baseline for what our sales presentation looks like. And mystery shopping is really part of the big key for that. What it does for us is it gives us an opportunity to have not only a real person, but having a machine go through and listen to our sales presentation, to actually walk through the process of a true sales presentation. And role playing is great because it gives us a chance to massage and to change things. But when it's an actual customer interaction, and we can go back and parse that and say, okay, here's what we could have done better. Here's what we did great, by the way. Here's how we got to the end and did a very, very good job. But I think if you don't currently have a process by which to evaluate, that's where mystery shopping really helps out. And that's, to me, one of the very first steps is let's evaluate what we're doing now. And the best way to do that is to do it through some kind of mystery shopping arrangement. And that's where I think it's the first step in this introduction. And then if you can use a service that has, as Dan does, the implementation of AI, it just takes what is a really good practice and puts it on steroids. It just amps it way up and gives you all that power that you'd like to have. I think it's like mystery shopping in the Ferrari mode. It just really accelerates everything.
I love that. We're going to use that, Dan. Mystery shopping in the Ferrari mode.
I like that. I know we got to trademark that. That was awesome.
Yeah, we should. Les, what do you have to say about some of the key benefits of AI and its ability to personalize learning paths? Walk us through how we can kind of tailor training content to an individual's specific needs and how this boosts the engagement.
Great question. So I guess to answer that question, I'd start by prefacing my answer with my opinion about what a sales leader's role in an organization is. The person that's tasked with leading, coaching, training, hiring, interviewing, onboarding, and holding accountable all the people that are communicating with your customers, the people that are giving you all the money. And there's really only three things that person in that sales leadership role can do to impact the revenue in a positive way of the company. And those three things are reviewing the current talent of the team that you've got. The second thing is to provide training, coaching, and accountability to the review. Where do they need help? Where are they strong that you can leverage it? It's kind of a SWOT analysis, if you will. And then the third thing that a sales leader can do to have a positive impact on revenue is go out and recruit and interview, hire, and train new people. That's it. The only other thing that you can do in that role to drive revenue is actually do the job yourself, and that doesn't scale. So the thing that really is exciting to me about AI, and we've done this with a couple of our clients through Dan and Nikita's partnership, is to really get really good at that review portion of it, right? I've spent 15, almost 20 years now as a sales coach, listening to calls in real time, doing the armchair quarterback thing, listening to calls that recorded yesterday or last week or what have you. And I'm really good at picking out the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly. But I'm a human being, and while I'm listening to one thing, I'm missing something else. AI catches everything. It leaves nothing to chance, and it helps scale that sales leader to actually be as effective as they can possibly be to streamline that process of coaching, growing, developing, and holding people accountable to get them ramped up faster, to get them to that higher level and keep them there. And if you think about it, the most expensive thing in the sales department is hiring somebody off the street or promoting them from a position and ramping them up and making them productive in their role. And depending on what you do, that could take anywhere from a week to 3 months. If it's a really complex sale, it could take 6 months to a year to ramp somebody up. Where AI and just-in-time role practice can really change the game is by shortening that ramp-up time and making people more productive and more effective in a shorter amount of time. And the savings of that is almost incalculable. Did I answer your question, Iris?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great point is, looking at the long term, you might put a little investment in the front end, but where that saves you in that training process is, yeah, like you said, it's incalculable. So thank you. That's a great one. And then I have a question regarding retention. So if we know traditional training programs can sometimes lead to information overload, how does JIT training powered by AI help improve employee retention and overall productivity?
That's a really good question. Here's the deal. When salespeople fail, that's when they quit. When they feel like they're failing, that's when they quit. When they feel like they're not getting any better at their craft, because it's this constant grind of no, 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 no. And you think about a salesperson's job, you're in the professional no-taking business. You're in the professional asking business, right? We're constantly asking for stuff and we're constantly being told no. And when we can help somebody ramp up their career and get a little bit faster by making those micro changes, the difference between good and great is it's teeny tiny, right? Nobody remembers who came in second place. And oftentimes in the world of athletics, the difference between first and second place is measured in seconds. The difference between top producers and everybody else is measured in basis points. So where JIT, I think, is really powerful is it gives a sales professional the opportunity to get better at their craft in a safe space and not talk about theoretically, right? I'm assuming there's going to be a demo of JIT later on in this session, but every time I see it, it blows my mind how good it is in terms of making it safe and making it relevant for the salesperson so they can see those little incremental changes in their game, if you will. And when people are happy, when people feel confident, they're more productive. And when people are more productive and they feel more confident and they're happier, they tend to stick around. Why would I leave and go risk having to start all over again if I'm really good at what I do right here and right now? So that's where I see the retention piece. And let's face it, it's really expensive to invest in your employees. And if you're investing in your employees in something that's got a sketchy ROI, or it's that tribal knowledge being handed down from the elders to the juniors, it's hard to measure. JIT takes all of the noise out of it.
Yeah, we love measurable data. Like there's no other. And these are things that people really didn't know how to quantify before. And Dan and Nikita just put together this program that's amazing and helps everything measurable, right? So Nikita, can you talk to us a little bit about how AI is being used to create custom training, the videos, the role-playing scenarios in real time?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of want to start building off Les's ideas here. Is that a lot of this work is actually taking your tribal knowledge and putting it on paper. You take all of those materials you have stored somewhere in the bookshelf, telling you what is right and how you should greet the customer, and you dust them off and you actually get a chance to apply them. And you're no longer risking picking up a wrong call that's not a sales call, or picking a call that's not really applicable to your evaluation. We go through all of them and we only look at the calls that we can evaluate. For example, only 3% of all calls from a call center qualify to be evaluated for the sales initiative.
Wow.
And previously, it was just they'll take their hand, they grab a ball out of a bucket and say, oh, we're going to look at this call. And you never know how it's going to go there. So it saves you a lot of time in that area. The way it works is we collect all these calls, we take all of your materials, we create playbook, and we start building an evaluation. It's really similar to building a survey. You have to be really mindful of how you ask questions. You have to be extremely specific of what you want and provide all the necessary context in order for that question to be correctly answered. And that's kind of the art part of it. Then we pick the right model for the task. And that's something people don't usually realize, is that we have a lot of model providers. There's OpenAI, and they have about 3-4 models that you can use in production. Then there is Google, there is Facebook, there is XAI, and all of them have their use cases in place. So we pick the correct model for a particular job. Then we ask it to produce an evaluation to see how well do they perform and to be able to quantify their performance. Because after all, we want to have both aspects. We want to have a quantifiable information so we can compare their performance to their previous performance or their peers, and have a dashboard showcasing how are we doing in general. And we want to have a qualitative aspect to it, so we can focus more on how are you doing things rather than just checking the boxes. And once we collect all of that, it's a matter of presenting it. What we found to be the most effective is to create a video Usually, at least I prefer watching short videos rather than reading the text myself. Yes, I'm a little lazy like that.
No.
So make a training video focusing on a single aspect they can improve on. We previously used to do like, this is all you can do better, but that doesn't really work, at least for me personally. I can only focus on one thing. And the beauty of it is we can do it really often. So we don't need to cover everything. We can just give them a little actionable insight. This is what you did. This is how you can do better. They get a chance to practice using real-time, just-in-time practice. And then they can go another week or month practicing it, and we can look at their at another call and see if they did better on this aspect, and give them the next goal to work towards.
Yeah, it's an amazing product. Dan, do you want to show everyone what we're talking about? Give them a little sample.
Yeah, let's do it. Let me do a screen presentation here. Let's go. Good.
Hey, Dan, while you're teeing that up, team, just think about the power that we have as owners of properties in communicating to someone that we hire or someone that we're promoting. Think of the power we have about this playbook that you're talking about, that we're going to invest in that person, and not just from a training perspective because we'd like to rent more space, but from the perspective of we're going to give you tools and specifically help you to be better at your craft. Now, we hope that you stay with us long term, and we hope that you use that craft with us. But we are truly going to invest not just in our company to be better at renting space, but we're going to invest in you as an individual. And this playbook is going to be designed to make you better at what you do, a better professional. And if we can use that not only in a recruiting sense, as you know, as Les was talking about, that's one of the core jobs of that sales trainer is recruiting. But think of the power that we have in that, in being able to say, we want you to be better as a professional, and we're willing to invest in it by using these tools that Nikita and Dan put together.
Absolutely. And actually, Roberta just, she answered one of the poll questions that we had. And she said one of the challenges that they have is getting the employee to understand what you want and to follow through with the instructions. So that really speaks to what you were just saying, RK, and giving them that confidence to be able to answer, to get the training that they need. And now I think Dan is ready. I can bring that up and you can show them exactly what we've been talking about.
Okay, so I'm going to show you, this is just our app we built for demonstration purposes. This is, like Nikita shared before, the call evaluation. We break it out so it's very specific. Offer a friendly greeting, introduce themselves, use name and location. So what a lot of clients would do will bundle or barrel questions, meaning offer friendly greeting and introduce themselves. We break that all very specifically so the AI can understand it more. Obviously, we have scores by questions. One of the other things that I see a lot of clients don't do is weight sections. So that's something that you would look at wanting to do. I do want to show you the playbook like Nikita talked about before. So these are playbooks that we build. And so we'll build a playbook that has every component of which your sales aspects in there. So that's where you start. So that's what a playbook looks like online, allows you to move around just like a digital book. So it's super cool. So going back to here, so it's like a traditional mystery shop or the AI scoring it. So I want to go ahead and play this audio. This is an audio. I'm going to play just 30 seconds, 45 seconds of an audio of a call center employee. Nikita, give me a thumbs up if you can hear it, please.
Thank you for calling the customer care center. This is Brianna. How can I help you?
Yes, ma'am. Is this Storage Sense in PQ?
Yes. On Highway 11?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, how can I help you?
Getting a price. Yes, I'm.
Okay, so we've all heard a million of those, right? Call center, talking to somebody that's interested. We take that audio, we download it, we apply all our programming knowledge and all the great things that Nikita and our team are doing, and we build this custom video. This is the video, kind of like you saw on the demo. So I'll just play about a minute of this too.
Hello, Brianna. Thank you for taking the time to review this training video. Today, we'll be discussing some key aspects of your recent interaction with the customer, Nick, and how you can enhance your sales approach for even better results. Let's start with the positive highlights from your call. You began the conversation professionally by introducing yourself and confirming the location promptly.
So I'll stop there. You kind of get it. First of all, it's going to go into some good things she did, some things to work on, etc. We can custom make all this. So this could be any one of you with your voice, even RK. We can take RK, put him on there with his voice. So, or we can take RK's face and someone else's voice. I think he liked Britney Spears. So the other part is a action plan. So the team member will watch that video. They could be asked, hey, what happened at 40 seconds in the video and what happened at a minute 17 into the video? That way we know they're watching it. We'll pull out questions for them. Hey, Brianna, how can you incorporate asking the customer's name early in the conversation? Now, this isn't just generic. This goes back to that question about the difference between LMSs. An LMS would have this question over and over. By using AI and what we're putting together, we're going to analyze this audio with the video, pull out questions based around that actual interaction, and ask Brianna to go ahead and answer those. And so in this case, how can you do better? And Brianna answered, I could greet the customer more with something like storage, asset management, et cetera, et cetera. We can have as many questions as you want. Now we're going to go to the just-in-time training. So this is pretty dynamic. So now Brianna's watched her video. She's answered her questions. Now it's going to be, Brianna, let's actually do some role practice. Let's actually have some interaction back and forth. I'm going to demo this with you.
Hi there, Brianna. Let's dive into a role-play scenario today. I'll be a customer looking to rent some storage space, but I'm not really sure about the size or duration I need. Your goal is to ask me the right questions to figure that out, making sure I feel supported and informed. Ready? Let's start. Hi, I'm looking for some storage options, but I'm not sure what size or how long I'll need it.
Okay, well, let me ask you, what are you going to be storing? Is it things from your house, maybe boxes, appliances, garage items, maybe vehicles? Give me an idea of what you're storing.
It's mostly household items, some furniture, a bunch of boxes, and a few appliances. No vehicles, though. I'm also not sure how long I'll need the storage yet.
Okay, well, let me ask you this first. Why are you moving? What's causing the creation or what's causing the need for storage?
I'm actually downsizing my home, so I need to store the extra items until I figure out what to do with them. I might keep some, sell others, or give them away. So the duration depends on how long that takes.
Okay, I'll disconnect it. I think you get the back and forth. Now, this is bespoke, meaning we can customize this anyway. It could be ask a question, answer the question, and then give feedback. It can give feedback at the very end, which if we kept this going, that's what it would do. So again, very customized. But the other feature that I want to show here is the analytics. And to me, this is massive because what we're doing here is we've analyzed this evaluation. Brianna scored an 85. She had 13 filler words like might, like, right, et cetera, things like that. But we have the conversation going on here and we see this is where it started. And this is where Brianna, AKA me, asked this question. And we can see the first thing I asked is, what are you going to be storing? So multiply that times 100 interactions between team members on all types of different things. And we can start telling you what they always ask. And you might say, that's great. That's what we need. Or something really, really important, like maybe insurance, they're asking it, but they're saying it wrong or misinterpreting it or whatever. And so you're going to have that intelligence to be able to go, wow, if we do this, they're always going to say this. We need to train to this. And I go back to where the LMS stage, you never had that information. You didn't have the ability to be flexible, change it around, modify, et cetera. Today with AI, with the programming and prompting and LLMs and things, we can do that. So that gives you just kind of a thumbnail of what the whole process between training and just-in-time role practice is about.
That is amazing. It always leaves me with my jaw dropped on the floor. And every time we have one of these presentations, you have something new to add to it. And I just can't believe it gets better and better. And it's scary and fascinating all at the same time.
You have to have people like Nikita young in the middle of San Francisco, because every week, almost every night, I get another text. You got to watch this video. You got to watch this video. I'm like, oh, dude, too much learning. Too much learning.
No brain can handle this much.
I can't handle that much.
I need an AI to help me digest the AI because it's a lot. And so for Les and Dan, looking at that, what are some real world examples of how the JIT training has positively impacted companies as far as productivity, employee satisfaction, and even cost savings?
Les, you want to take that?
Yeah, the pilot program that we did for one of my clients, one of the things that I was really, really excited about, and the results that we saw were pretty amazing, was, if you think about it, for a human being, myself, I do this for a living, and it can be really difficult to consistently provide both critical and positive feedback in a meaningful way. We don't like doing it, so I can't tell you how many sales leaders or managers I've seen that have provide coaching that sounds like this. Hey, I need you to do a better job of developing rapport. Well, I can't do anything with that. Here's the other thing that is really difficult to do. It's like, hey, great call, nice work, but you missed this, that, or the other thing. And where AI can be tailored, it can be so objective and so crystal clear and so to the point and so concise and so quickly. They'll say, listen, here's one thing I think you can do better. And here's an example of how you can do it better. And then we start getting that muscle memory. It's one thing to tell somebody how to do something, but then when you add that component of let's role practice this in real time, just in time, and we start building that new muscle memory. The other thing that is fascinating about it is when we start providing positive feedback to our employees about the things that they do well, it's amazing how many times somebody will do something well, but they can't do it consistently because they don't know they're doing it well because nobody ever pointed it out to them. So when we can give somebody positive feedback and a meaning thing, the things that get recognized, the things that get rewarded, get repeated. I have personally, as a coach, been able to take people's game from here to here without ever giving them critical feedback, just by praising the things that they do well. And they go, oh, I'll just keep doing that thing. I think RK or Dan pointed it out earlier. It's like that one thing, every time they do this, we see a positive impact. And when you can do that with an employee in a 3-minute video that takes no time from a sales leader's life to produce, and the sales rep can actually engage on their own time and get better, from one call to the next, you can get better. If you can get the feedback from JIT, go execute another call and put that new training to work right away, you start seeing those incremental wins, and it just accelerates everything. It accelerates learning, it accelerates productivity, it reduces ramp up time. We saw that with one of our clients we did a beta test with, and every time she watched one of those videos, she got better on the next call. And that's pretty powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially normally someone has to hear something, like 7 times before it really takes. So,
well, if the message is diluted, yeah, it's going to take that many times. If the message is specific and targeted, they might do it in one message.
Which obviously happened, right?
Hey guys, also think about the difference between the word but and. Because but negates everything you said before the word but, and affirms everything and gives you the next entree, right? And I think that's one of the things that AI does in this particular case with JIT, is it eliminates a lot of the but and helps you with the and.
Well, I need more of that. Let's put it that way. We asked in our poll a minute ago, how have you implemented any AI-based training tools in your company, and which ones? And Tamara commented that they use AI to help with marketing copy and with our sales training. So they have sort of their version of their playbook they've created with AI, it sounds like, Tamara. So, that's a sort of an entry into AI, I think. And how can you expand on that? That sounds like that's sort of their first step in, getting their toe dipped in the water. Dan, how would you help someone beyond that?
Well, Nikita, ChatGPT just came out with something yesterday that you were sharing with me that Tamara and their team probably could use. Share with that real quick, because I want you to get an idea of the dynamics of what happens during these changes, how fast they come, but how dynamic they are.
Yeah, things come out every week. It's been hard for me to keep up because I have to try a lot of things. Like I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, OpenAI released a new image generation model for 4.0. And I'll just say it straight up. I think Dan doesn't like when I say that. It killed a couple companies because it's so good at generating images with text and realistic reflections and following prompts and continuity. it is uncanny. You can make marketing materials, you can make posters, you can ideate, and it's no longer that cartoonish signature. It's uncanny how close it is to reality and how good it is at writing text, because that was the main problem previously. And I highly encourage, if you're doing marketing, to play around with it. You can make LinkedIn posts, which I think almost everyone does nowadays with AI and like text. You can try and change your presentations to see what kind of new look would fit. And those things come out every week.
What is that program called that you're referring to, Nikita? We're going to put it in the comments.
They released it for ChatGPT.
Oh, it's part
and yeah, ChatGPT, and you just need to select create image, and then it will use the new model.
That's great.
And so, like Nikita says, and within ChatGPT, there's deep research, which a lot of people don't understand. That's going to allow the system to go deep. Like you could say, build me a paper around this, this, and this, add this, 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 give me all this, and hit deep research. It's going to go off to the web, maybe take 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes and start pulling that in. Looking at, the prompting and how you use the system and what you go and grab and bring in. One of our clients I was talking to yesterday in a different industry, very large, couple hundred locations in the quick serve area, shared with me her teammate. She has they love the commentary in the shops. She says, I have my teammate, he reads every commentary and summarizes for me. I shared that with Nikita, and Nikita said, what did he do wrong to get that job? And I said, well, I don't know what he did wrong, but it is a horrible job. The client is not really for AI. There's a lot of fear out there. And I'll say, I don't think you need to be fearful yet. It's not there. It's going to change things, but that doesn't mean you're going to lose your job. It's going to make you bigger and create more opportunities. So technology has a way of doing that. It has a way of shifting, but creating more opportunities and leaving. Like I said earlier, we don't use toll takers anymore. They needed to go find something else to do, right? If you want to be a toll taker and you grow up to want to be that, it's probably not the best idea. Someone needs to guide you in another direction. And that's the same thing going on here. So where we go into using that. So she says he uses and reads all these commentaries. Guys, today that's crazy. You can take all that commentary, you can dump it in ChatGPT and say, summarize this for me. Now, you need to be careful that it doesn't hallucinate and give you bad information, because the way they work, we won't get into the details of that. But for the most part, it's going to do a really, really good job. And that just saves time and makes things so much better. I'm sure just about everybody's using it to create emails. And if you're not, do it, because it communicates so much better. Like if you have to discipline a team member, ChatGPT isn't going to hear your tone, your frustration, your anger because you've told them 10 times. It's going to take that out and it's going to say, hey, X person, let's do it this way. Can we blah, 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 blah. And I'm telling you, we've done this with our team members. They come back and they go, man, okay, I'm going to confess. I did it for Happy New Year, right? Happy 2025, great 2024. I prompted it, put all this stuff in. If any of my team members are watching, I'm sorry. But I got more email replies back from them saying, man, that was such a great email. Thank you very much. So it told me two things. One, I don't know how to write, because all the other years, no one ever said that. And two, it took my words and put it out there. And it just does so much better that way. So I think it's going to enhance communication with people, because it's going to take the feelings out. It's going to clarify. It's just it just adds, and it's going to add a lot more ability for everybody.
Yeah, and you can use ChatGPT. I work from home, and my husband came walking in the other day, and he's like, "You're using ChatGPT?" And I said, "Yeah, it's like having a secretary in my computer. Like I'm a busy lady, and I need all the help I can get. I can write an email. I'm a published writer, but I can do it faster if I just tell ChatGPT, and it will give inflection. If I say, make sure it's very professional or informal, or I can say, make it a little casual or something like that. And ChatGPT will change the tone for me. I always inevitably have to go in and change some of the wording here and there, but at least it gives you sort of a canvas. It's sort of like having a paint by number where you might have to color a little in, but you've got the base there to start with.
Very true.
Which is really helpful. How do you?
I got to tell you this. Some of us use Chat GPT in another way. I'm in the process of updating the very first book that I wrote, which was How to Invest in Self-Storage. And nothing is really the same as it was in 2005. The whole self-storage world has changed dramatically from an investment perspective. And so as I'm going through and writing that, I'm also having Chat GPT look at the paragraphs that I write. Well, my challenge is, how can I write this so that Chat GPT doesn't change it very much? So I'm challenging myself to be better, as good as Chat GPT. Now, when I get a paragraph and it changes a lot in it, then I know I need to take a break because I'm not doing the best I can possibly do. Nothing gives me more satisfaction to get like one word changed in a whole paragraph. I'm going, yes, I did it.
Yeah, sometimes it's just learning how to talk to Chat GPT in a certain way to get it to give you the answers that you're looking for.
But that's part of this whole JIT whole thing, is that it has challenged me to be better at what I do. And now when I compare it against Chat GPT, the AI function, I know that I'm a better writer now because it has trained me to write better. And I can measure it against the AI model, and it can tell me how it could be better presented. But I think this is, again, part of this whole just-in-time training, the whole use of AI in our daily lives and how it makes us better professionals at what we do. And I think that's why we need guys like Dan and Nikita to create these tools, and then guys like Les to guide us on how to use those tools and then to implement them in our day-to-day lives as we go through and become better sales professionals. Because it's really all about, in my business as a consultant, template, replicate, tweak, template, replicate, and then tweak just a little bit, but not reinvent the wheel over and over again. And we can do that really effectively in the storage business if we can get guys like Dan and Nikita to give us the tools to get that done.
Absolutely. And of course, we need guys like you, RK, to help guide us in our self-storage businesses effectively. And, the services that you provide. And I can't wait to see your new book. Please let us know when it's out so we can promote it for you too.
Thanks.
And so going back to the JIT, how do you measure the success, Dan, of the training in a business? What are the KPIs that businesses should be looking at there?
Yeah, let's do this too. Let's do a screen share again. And so, when we go back to, let's just take a call center where you had somebody listening to one call per employee or two. I mean, first of all, statistics are out. Like, you aren't going to get statistically sound data because you aren't getting much volume. Even with this, you're not going to get statistically sound, but you're going to get a lot better. I mean, you do 10 or 20 a month times 2, 3, 4, 5 months, just multiply that out. 30, 40, 50 interactions with that team member, you're going to really know what they're doing and how they're doing it. So if I take a look at, I need to make sure you see my screen. Am I sharing my screen?
Here we go.
There we go. Thank you. Okay. So let's just take this situation here. So I'm going to go, this is our tool, our web-based tool. It collects all the data. We're going to go in here and I'm going to grab a team member. I'm going to grab Brianna. And I'm going to grab all the surveys Brianna's done in November, December, and January. Do that again. November, December, and January. And I'm going to submit that. The first thing I see is we've now evaluated 41 surveys that Brianna has done. And we can see that she's ranging between 28%, sorry, Brianna, and 98%. Okay, so that's first. That's every one of these. So we could pop into any one of these and see exactly, and Brianna could too. And this goes back into interacting with the team member, and I'll share with that in a minute. But Brianna can see, hey, on this day, I scored 91%, and here's what I did well, and here's what I need to get better. Now, as a company, you have a dashboard, and you can say, okay, I need to see, let's do the same thing. Let's grab Brianna. Let's grab those time frames. And I want to figure out where Brianna's doing well and where she's not. Before, I was reliant on my team member listening and telling me, based on a Tuesday, how she did. And based on Wednesday, she might have did different because my team member evaluating that didn't have a good night last night. Who knows, right? It's all, we're human. We take that element out. So now we can come down here and we see every question Brianna's being scored on. And we see every month that we're looking at. And we can quickly see our system pulls out 3. She's asking for the sale. She's struggling for asking for the sale. and she's struggling asking to reserve space. And she's struggling creating urgency through the call. And that's on 41 evaluations. So I think we can comfortably go, where do we need to spend time coaching Brianna? Where do we spend time building a training video for Brianna? Where does Brianna need role practice? Maybe everybody needs that. So then you could grab everybody. So that's how you start to look and use the data that comes in to go on. Now I'll finish with the best clients we have, meaning the ones that have the best performance, the most engaged employees. Think of your Chick-fil-A's, Pollo Campero, KB Homes, things like that, like really, really engaged are clients that, one, believe in what they say on their website, meaning we really do want to provide good customer service, and we're going to go out and look for it. And we're going to find ways to do it. And we're going to embed that within the customer or the employees. And we're going to encourage the employees to give feedback. So now in this case, Brianna can, let's see what I want to look at here. I want to look at this. Brianna now gets an evaluation that she gets to see how she did yes and no. She gets to hear herself right here. She gets a custom video. She gets to give feedback. She gets a role practice. And then the tool that's not turned on here is her ability to come back and appeal this and say, wait a minute, you said I didn't do this, but I truly did. If you listen to the audio at this time, you'll hear me do that. Like, we want employees to do that because they're engaged. Like, we don't want to be making mistakes, and that might not be the mistake, or it might be. That's secondarily. If we can engage the employee with a tool to listen, hear, feedback, you're going to have them so much more engaged than they are by just a mono, watch this, take this question, watch this, take this question.
Sorry about that. I was on mute.
Oh, I don't think I was in here.
How can AI use empathy when a potential client comes in to rent storage due to a death in the family? We do see that a lot.
I can speak a little bit on that because I'm sorry, I've listened to way too many call recordings at this point, and I've heard every single story, and there's some wild stuff there. From incarceration to entire life story of a person, it gets wild.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like they need to be paid for being therapists.
Yes.
In such cases where it's really touching and it involves a lot of feelings. AI, when it comes to training, it's extremely good at realizing that and being polite and telling you how to react to it neutrally and empathetically. I don't know exactly why, but it's somehow learned how to do this. And when it comes to this tense situations, it does a great job at picking up. We actually had one of these. Yes, I remember. I read an evaluation that was about death in a family and storing their belongings. And the salesperson actually didn't do that well. They didn't give their condolences. They didn't acknowledge that. They were like, okay, so what are we storing? And the major point in that recording that they got was, hey, you kind of have to be more empathetic and tell them that you're sorry and then you wish you kind of help them resolve that. And if they need any help with moving things, you can provide it and be more helpful. So it did a good job. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, and it is amazing how it starts to pick up tone and inflection and those kind of things. Tamara said, I tell my new hires that they are bartenders without the booze.
To add a little bit on to what Nikita was saying is generative pre-trained transformer, GBT, that's what GBT stands for, right? That is, even the programmers, the way it layers on there, it works like a brain. Like, that's why I tell people, get away from setometrics, keywords. Like, that's not how this works anymore. And they don't even really understand exactly how it goes and grabs. They understand tokens and things like that. Like, come on, the programmers know what's going on, but they don't quite know exactly how does it keep learning that way and keep getting better. And so, like, to Nikita's point, it figures it out. And it keeps getting better and better. So that's what makes it so darn amazing.
One of the big benefits here is the fact that AI uses, because of the large language model and everything, understanding that a lot of what self-storage use is the big Ds. This is the death, the displacement, the divorce, the disengagement. And because so many of the interactions that it's analyzing over a period of time, AI is smart enough to train for those negative situations. And so because it knows that, it actually refines in the background all of the responses that are coming back in. And I think that Nikita might help to answer the question, how does it know how to do that? Well, it knows how to do that because it is being trained by so many of these. Unfortunately, when we use self-storage, a majority of the use of self-storage is generated by these negative interactions in our lives, and it's a fact of self-storage life.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of, how it kind of is making itself smarter, what is the future of JIT training? Looking ahead, how do you see this AI technology evolving in the next few years? Anything trends that companies should be prepared for?
Nikita, go ahead, start.
Yeah, I think I'm qualified to answer that. A lot of developments right now are kind of stagnating. Like, we're not going to see significant mind-blowing improvements in quality of large language models. Everything is just going to be more user-friendly.
Okay.
It's going to be easier to use it. It's going to be easier to build with it, and it's going to be significantly easier to apply it. And we are seeing models are being incrementally better. They can now take a lot more text. They can take in videos. They can take in audios. But generally, the quality of output mostly depends on the person prompting it and how do you provide all the necessary information it needs. Additionally, a lot of development actually goes into how do we deliver that information through different media. It's no longer text. We want to output audio that sounds human. The recent development, I think 3 weeks ago, a month ago, 4 weeks, exactly. Everything just happened so quickly. I still remember dates. Sesame is another startup. They released their model for outputting human-sounding audio, and it's uncanny. And Dan can speak to that, how he was going around conference showing it to people, and it sounds better than me. I was like, I'd like to speak like that. It's funny, it's witty. You'd never think it's an AI.
Yeah,
I'll add to this a bit, Nikita. It's the delivery of it all. So whereas prior to this, giving information we understood was a garden hose, like tons of information you can do with your storage, this and that. This is a fire hose, right? Like, we could flood clients with all this information of what it can do. It's going to be helping your client understand what's key, what's important now, and helping them digest it, and then helping them display it. Because it can be so big, it can be too overwhelming. And so we need to go start small and display and give and learn, display and give and learn, and things like that. So to Nikita's point, not going to be huge changes in that, because this can permeate so far down. It's going to be understanding what it can do, having someone that can help you, guide you through this, and then display it so it can be actionable.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it looks like we have time for one more question from Roberta. Do you think that AI in the future will take over call centers, sounding totally human and able to understand and answer questions?
I am not as optimistic as most people on the internet. I honestly think a lot of the things out there are more of a way to sell startups and sell an idea. And I believe we're not going to see call centers be displaced. They're going to be augmented. It's going to be easier to onboard people as call center representative. We're going to have an option to help them, like have a co-pilot throughout the call that can point them what to say next. And it will also allow us to better understand what is happening during those calls and how we can use that information to help them become better. I don't believe we can ever have AI replace a call center employee within 5 years. Like, maybe in 20 years, we'll just communicate through Neuralink and it doesn't matter anymore. But humans need humans, and there is no better thing than another person to help you through a tough situation. And I hate whenever I have a robot pick up my phone call.
Yeah. I might take the opposite side on that for just a bit, Nikita. About 4 months ago, I ordered a new Tesla, and I went through the entire sales process of ordering my Tesla, and it wasn't until after I had already pushed the button to review my order did a human come on and say, is there anything else we can do before we schedule delivery of the vehicle? But I had gone through the entire sales process and I never spoke to a human being. I ordered color, model, everything. I set my lease up. Everything was done before I actually talked to a human being.
I think that goes back to what I said earlier, like toll takers. Like there's things that it's going to replace that we don't need anymore. Like we don't need somebody to guide me through boarding my color of my car and things like that, right? But I need people then to take it to that next level, right? To create that experience, because humans need humans. Like we think we want to be in a silo, but we all gather in grouped areas, you know, but we're all on our phone. So it's really a weird thing. But we still need to be together. And so what this is going to do is eliminate the things that are robotic or redundant and allow for these experiences to be elevated and to make it so every experience is like you're going to Chick-fil-A, right? Like, how do you do that? And that's what I think this is going to help.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, on that note, we are right at our 12 o'clock mark. I want to thank everyone for being here today. This was really a great conversation. And I see Arcade wrapping it up over here for me. I'm going to take you all off screen. Leah's going to come up and bring up, announce our winner for today. Thank you all, and we'll talk to you soon. I'm going to bring you off, and I'm going to bring Aaliyah up. Oh, that's Michaela. There we go. Someone the wrong person. I'm like, Aaliyah, how are you today?
So good, guys. Thank you so much for the panelists. Really quick, that was really cool. I'm always blown away by the technology. I feel like every time I look away and then I look back, it's developed further. And the conversational AI, I think that's going to take off. Maybe I agree that I like a little chat bot. I'm kind of different. I love not having to talk to humans. Maybe that's the introvert. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I like seeing everybody's perspectives. But yeah, thank you guys again so much. Really cool session.
Yeah, they did a great job. So I think I know who it was, but who was our winner for the gift card today?
Okay, guys, a little drum roll on my end here. I think everybody knows the winner is going to be Roberta G. Thank you guys so much. The comments were just awesome. Honestly, really good questions and picking up at the end. I love seeing everybody's perspective on this type of stuff. Tech is it's going to take off. It is.
Absolutely. And Roberta, if you will send your name and the email where you would like your gift card sent to Mari, M-A-R-I, at thesboa.com, she will get that out to you probably today because Mari is on top of it. She's very quick with those things.
Yeah.
So again, it's Mari at thesboa.com and use the subject line SSU winner. And Aaliyah, will you just pop that in the chat too, just in case she missed it?
Yeah.
And we'll make sure she gets that out. And then we'll just talk a little bit about what's coming up. We have, so normally our self-storage unlock program is every other Thursday, but we're switching it up for April because we do have a trade show in the month. So we are going to have Scott Zucker and Carlos Caslow on next week talking about legal. They have a program, the Self-Storage Legal Network. If you've ever heard Scott speak, you'll want to hear him again and again. There's a reason they always have him the very last at trade shows because people will stay and hang out so they can hear him talking. So he'll be with us next Thursday, same time, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. You can find that if you go to our page on Eventbrite. Aaliyah will pop that into the chat as well. We'll get the links for Eventbrite. Because 2 weeks from then, we will be talking to Da Vinci Lock. They'll be talking about driving profit. So you can sign up for both of those if you go onto our Eventbrite site, unless you're already an SBOA VIP member, in which case you can watch right from our member site, right, Aaliyah? And then
skip the registration altogether.
Registration, you just log in, get in there, and you will also be eligible. You'll get invited to our events. We have an announcement coming out later today on social media, and it will also be in our newsletter next week. We're going to have a very special dinner at ISS April 24th. That's a Thursday night at the show. So if you're a VIP member, you will get one of those invitations. And when you get that invitation, make sure you sign up right away because those go quickly. Those seats fill fast. People love our parties. 2 weeks ago, we were in Orlando. We had the dinner with the Sharks, which we loved. I think that might have been one of my favorites so far. We've done the museum. What else? The Paris event. We had the ice bar. We always have a really good party. So you don't want to miss it, but you have to be a VIP member to get an invitation. And speaking of ISS, we will be there. All of Team SBOA, that includes SBOA Tenant Insurance, SBOA Insurance Services, the new SBOA Commercial Insurance. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe our booth number is 326. So
46.
Excuse me. See,
I gotcha.
Too, because I need to remember that. We will be at 346, and we'll have our newest member of our team, Michaela, will be there, and she is a great photographer. She's going to be there taking headshots for everybody, so you can use them on your business cards, you can use them on your profiles for social media, and you can get a great picture for free at our booth from Michaela on Wednesday and Thursday that week. Anything else? What am I missing? Make sure you join us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, and you'll get all those updates. But most of all, you'll want to be in our newsletter because that's where you can see all the events that are going on in self-storage right now. I'm going to leave with that video that we started with this morning in case anyone missed it. So we will talk, you'll see the mystery shop in progress. Aaliyah made this great video. And by the way, the narrator in that video is also AI, just so that you know. And when you see someone in there training, that guy with the vest, he is also AI. It is all AI except for the actual mystery shopper themselves. That is a human. So we are not getting rid of the human element altogether.
Right.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Congratulations to Roberta. Make sure you email Mari at thesboa.com with subject line SSU winner, and she'll get that out to you. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you for calling self-storage. This is how may I help you?
Yeah, and do you guys have any storage available, places, spots available?
You said you're looking for a parking space?
No, I need some storage. I'm moving to town, and I need to put my house in there, or my apartment, I guess I should say.
Okay, absolutely. Are you looking for an air-conditioned unit or a non-climate?
I think non-climate. I don't think anything in there is probably that, sensitive.
All right, and so with that, our non-climate units with the drive-up access, we have the largest being 10 by 35s, and then down from that we have 10 by 30s, 10 by 20s, and 10 by 15.
Yeah, maybe a 10 by 15. I mean, it's actually a 10 by 20.
A 10 by 20? All right, and those are starting at $269 base.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.